Everyone, I just got finished making like 20 different items, night lights, glass on glass, ornaments, and little statues using these adorable Christmas trees and snowman molds in glass too. Follow along if you want to see what I made. In one of my recent videos, I had shown you some beautiful into resin molds that had real special crystal and diamond effects. I thought they were so pretty. It's a Christmas tree and also a snowman. And under one of the comments on my YouTube channel, someone said, could you make a half mold of that? Which gave me so many ideas, so thank you for that suggestion. And I decided to do a whole bunch of projects with them. I'm going to be making a whole bunch of projects with the Christmas tree and the snowman, but I'm starting by making half molds. Not all of the projects that I am doing will be half molds. A bunch of them will be the entire Christmas tree or the entire snowman. Half of the snowman and half of the Christmas tree, and I do that by putting UV resin on the half of the snowman that I want, and then putting a piece of plastic down and putting the UV light on it to prevent the resin from spilling out when I lay it on its side to make half of a mold. So I also take the UV resin one more time and go around the perimeter just as an extra precaution against leaks. But honestly, this type of a mold that's flat on the top, when you put the UV resin on the top, it's probably sufficient enough to prevent any leaks. So the way you determine what part of the snowman you're going to use is you just want the front of the snowman. And the snowman is actually easier than the Christmas tree because the snowman has 3 little buttons up front, and you can easily see that, and you can make a mark like that with your gold or metallic marker. The metallic markers is what will stay on there longer than any other marker. And now this is the Christmas tree, and this is more difficult to determine what is the front because you're worrying about the star at the top being at the correct angle. So I do the same thing with the Christmas tree, and I put the UV resin on and the plastic on top. Now I'm mixing green in the resin, and I just wanted to show you when you mix a colorant in your resin and put it in the bubble removal machine, it will bubble up, so you have to have it very low in a cup. Whenever I'm doing a mold, I always put it through the bubble remover machine because you can damage your mold by using heat on the mold. And these are expensive molds. You do not want to damage them. So after we have it all set up to be able to pour the resin in, pour it in slowly, and then lay it on its side to see if it's all the way up to the half filled line. And I do the same with the other one. And if you need to keep it from rolling, because it may roll, you may have to put like popsicle sticks on each side to keep it from rolling. And here they are both laying on their side, and you use those lines to line up to make sure they're sitting the right way. So here I am. This is actually about 2.5 hours later. I got this new glass heat table that I absolutely love. Yvonne from our Facebook page recommended it, and it has a little cover for it, and I'll show you in a minute. So this is my new glass heat table. Yvonne from our Facebook group had told me about this. She has one, and it is huge, and it is so cool. It comes with a rubber mat to go over it, a silicone mat, and all you do is over here are your controls. You just turn it on, and you go to your settings, and that's how you increase how long you want it on for. And you can also increase the temperature. 122, 140, and 158 is the highest. And I usually put it for 2 hours at 158, and everything's done within 2 hours. It is super nice. I am so glad that I got this. This helps so much. And that's the silicone mat that it comes with, and then I do take plastic and put it over the top of that also. So the molds as well as the table will all have links in the description you can click on. And I also have a 20% discount code for the Into Resin molds. And it comes with this cover to hold the heat in. It can also be used as a dust cover, and it folds down to almost nothing for storage. It's really nice and convenient. This is probably one of the best things I've ever bought, and I will put a link for it under the description. I really like it, and I absolutely love it. It's huge, and everything is cured within a couple hours. So here I am demolding the snowman. That's the first one. And you got to be careful. They tell you really shouldn't touch the inside of it, but these kind of molds, so you got to be careful. But isn't that cool? And look at it, still has the nice crystal effect on it. I think that is so pretty. So in this next one is the Christmas tree, and I actually put this in there the wrong way. This one is very deceptive. When you look into it, it looks as if the star is going one way, but it's actually going the opposite, and you'll see in a second. So I kind of messed this one up, and I have to redo it. So when you look inside of the mold, the bottom of the Christmas tree mold, there's a circle and a long slit. And you would think that the star would then run that way, crossways, and you would think you would be doing that half, but no, it's wrong. This is the correct way. That's where you would put your plastic. So it's just the opposite of what you would think. So I'm trying to show you, but see how there's the round circle, and then it looks like the line goes up and down like that. So you would think that is the way that's the way the star goes. And you would think you'd have to situate it like this, but it's the wrong way. You have to lay it on its side like this. I'm hoping you can see that. The star lays only one way, and so you can only have it one way. And look at my star's crooked. It was supposed to have gone the other way, so I have to redo it. The other thing about using this mold is it has to be cleaned out with paper tape. Because we're only doing half of it, when you pull it out, it doesn't pull all the resin out. When you pour resin in, it kind of rolls to the other side and leaves residue, and then falls to the half that you're actually trying to mold. So little pieces of resin are left in there cured. So you actually have to take paper tape and go in and get it out. I actually tip it upside down and hit it, kind of, and some of it will fall out, but then there's more that you have to get out with the tape, and it's a little bit of a process, and you really want to get all of it out, because if you leave it in, it'll stick to your next mold or resin that you put in. So like I said, I kind of bang it a few times and then continue to use the paper tape, and it takes me about 10 minutes to really clean it out. You have to do it with the Christmas tree and with the snowman. If you're making a whole mold as opposed to a half a mold, when you pull it out, it will not leave any residue. But with a half a mold, it will. I hope that makes sense. And I'm actually going to be making half molds from what I pull out of here. And if you're not interested in making your own half mold of this, you can just fast forward through this part. Honestly, if you're wanting to make a bunch of half molds, this makes the process so much easier, and it's really super easy to do. But I actually received from Resiners this resin polishing and drilling toolkit, which is super cool, because I need to flatten out the bottom of it in order to make a mold from it. And it comes in this nice little case. It comes with sandpaper, it comes with the little rotary tool, and it is wireless. It does have to be charged. And it really comes with everything that you need. It comes with grinders, polishers, sanders, other polishers there, and those are the sanding, and it comes with drill bits if you want to make holes, and it does come with some polishing cream also, and and here's the wire to charge it, so you don't have to have it plugged in while you're using it. This is super easy to figure out, and to use any of those parts there, you have to fit it into one of these things. I think they're called collet, C-O-L-L-E-T, and you just stick it in the end in to see which one fits the best, and that's how you determine which one you have to use. And then to remove the top part, in order to get it on, you just push that little button in, and you'll hear a little snap as you turn it, and that'll come right off. And then you put the gold piece in first, put the silver top back on, or maybe it's a gold top, and then stick the piece in, and then screw it down with the piece in there that you're going to be using, and that'll tighten it in so that it doesn't fall out. And again, you'll hear a little click as you're holding the button down. And see, that way it can't come out, or it can't fall out as you're using it. And then to turn it on, you just hold down on that until it starts spinning, and it goes at different speeds, and if you want it to go faster, you just keep on pushing it. Each time you push it, it continues to go faster, and to shut it off, you just hold it down and it will shut off. And then to take it off, you have to just do the opposite. All you have to do is push down on the white button again, and you will hear a click, and you can unscrew it. But for this, we're actually going to leave that on. We're going to put it back on because I want to sand down the back of the snowman to get it flat, to be able to make a mold of it. And I'm going to go through this part kind of fast. So when you're sanding resin, you should do it, well, I'm doing this out in the garage, and you should wear a respirator. You don't want to breathe any resin dust in. And I just turn my little tool on and start to sand it. And I just go all around the edges and making sure that it's all flat and even, because you want your mold flat to be able to sit on the bottom of the mold. And isn't that little snowman cute? I think he's so pretty and sparkly. And then I just wipe them down real good. I spray a little rubbing alcohol on the rag and wipe all the dust off. You don't want him to have any dust on him. So next I'm going to make a mold of the snowman, and I'm going to try to go through this fast. At first I have it setting in this little box, but that little box just isn't going to work. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm getting a piece of sticky paper. This is just shelf lining paper. I don't know if it's from the Dollar Tree or where it is, but I stick my little snowman to it, and whatever you do, you want it on a flat surface, and you want it stuck to something if possible. I've even seen people take Elmer's glue and put it on the back and stick that down to the paper underneath. And now this is a little mold making kit that I picked up on Amazon, and they have several of them, and I'm just making one so that it fits around the snowman. And you want to have at least a 1/4 inch space around the entire perimeter and on the top. Actually on the top, the deeper probably the better, because the top that you see will actually be the bottom, because you'll flip it over to put the resin in. So I'm fitting this all together with these little clamps, and then there's also tape that comes with it. Use your tape. I was trying to take all sorts of shortcuts before, and I messed up so many times and had so many leaks. So this time I'm doing everything right. So this two-sided tape is a pain in the butt, but you really need to put it on, and probably a wider tape would be better. This just happens to be the tape that came with the kit that I got. So yeah, it's a struggle getting it apart. So I do put the tape all the way around the perimeter, and then push it down on top of the sticky paper surrounding the snowman. And then I kind of move all the clamps up to the top, and in the meanwhile my heat gun, glue gun, is heating up, and I went around this. I actually ended up going around it twice. I said, I am not going to have any leaks, so I went around the perimeter twice to make sure I wasn't going to have any leaks at all. Then I moved all those clamps down into the hot glue and put the top clamps on all the way around. I am not going to have any leaks. I'm taking every precaution. I don't know if you've seen my last video. So this is the 15A silicone rubber from Let's Resin that I'm using. And this is measured by weight, not by volume, so you do have to have a little scale. And it's 1-to-1 ratio by weight, not volume. And I believe I mix up probably a full cup of it there. And I do end up putting this through the bubble removal machine. You don't want any bubbles in it. If you do it really slow, you probably don't have to, but I kind of mixed it fast. And then I just poured it on top of the snowman and I let it set up. And I think this is done within 4 hours. Then when it was done, I just took everything apart, and I had no leaking on this, by the way, with all my extra precautions. If you've seen my other videos with the molds, I had some terrible problems, but I was trying to take shortcuts. So once you take the plastic off the back, I then went ahead and trimmed it. And for the most part, the snowman, if attached to the plastic properly, should be wide open. But there was a little bit of resin around, not resin, but silicone around the edges, and I just trimmed that up real quick. And that's pretty easy to do. You just don't want any of it to fall in the mold. And then I popped the little snowman out, and I had a perfect mold for a half of a snowman. I thought that was so cool, and it has all the special effects in it that you'll get when I pour the next one. So next I mixed up my resin, some blue resin, and then I went to put it in the bubble removal machine, and I had turned my camera off so I didn't show pouring it, but here it is poured into the mold. And here he is 2 hours later, because I used that glass heat table that I showed you. It only takes 2 hours to cure this. It's great. It's just like using a fast cure resin, even faster than a fast cure resin, and you don't have to pay extra for it. And here he is, and look at, he still has all those pretty crystal effects. I think I got a few bubbles in him, but I'm going to make a few more. But isn't he pretty? I think that is so cool that we can do that. So I'm going to be using him and a bunch of other ones that I'm making up in these projects to come. I have a whole bunch of projects that I'm going to do with them. Keep on watching. And I also made a mold up of the Christmas tree the exact same way I did the snowman. So then I just used my silver and gold, and I think I might have used a bronze one on one, metallic oil-based markers, and went over all the different areas, the scarf, the buttons, the eyes, and the brim of the hat on the snowman. And on the Christmas tree, it has like little stars and circles, and then around a little trimming around the edges, also with the metallic markers. And with these metallic markers, when you start using them, what you should always have is some isopropyl alcohol and a little Q-tip in case you make any mistakes to be able to rub it off. So these are the half ones done, and some of them have the Let's Resin chameleon flakes in them that are super pretty. I love those. And I used different colors in each. That was the gold olive, and I really like that. And then of course that's just white, and then these last three are clear, and then I have the Christmas trees up above there. And I am going to be doing about a dozen projects. 4 of them are going to be glass on glass with these, and then I'm going to be doing some night lights with these, and I'm also going to be doing the whole ornament molds that I did the other day. I'm going to be putting those on some coasters with glass and some pretty decorations, and they all turn out so cute, so keep watching. To prepare all my frames for the resin, I flip them over and I remove all the backings, including the glass. I clean up the glass, and then I take Elmer's glue and put it around the perimeter of the back of the frames where the glass would sit. Then I replace the glass and take Elmer's glue one more time and put it around the perimeter. Now this takes overnight to dry, and sometimes up to 24 hours depending on how much glue you use. This is a temporary hold for the glass. Once you put the resin on the other side, that's what will permanently adhere the glass to the frame once it dries. So the one with the mirror had a really nice backing on it, and I decided to seal this up from the front. I took clear Elmer's glue and put it around the perimeter, making sure it went into all the creases along there. And once you pour resin over that, you will not be able to see the clear Elmer's glue. The next day, after the glue was dry, I took painter's tape and put it around the back of the perimeter of the glass just as an extra precaution against resin leaks. So the resin I'm using for this project is Bond Crafter resin. I mixed up about 7 ounces and poured about an ounce on each. And honestly, I may have used too much on some of them. And I just, it's easier to put resin on glass if you don't have any glass on it already, if that's possible. Sometimes you have to set your project up ahead of time, but these were pretty simple, and I had everything that I wanted already, so I could do it this way. So the first glass that I'm putting on there is Ashland Decorative Filler, and this is 1/4-inch fire glass gold reflective that I got on Amazon. The one on the bottom is actually holiday glass that comes out at certain times of the year. It's kind of a white iridescent, and it's in your best interest to put it on the resin instead of pouring resin over it, because it then becomes too translucent. And then I had a little snowflake brooch, and I just stuck that up there in the corner and drizzled a little bit of resin over it so I was sure it was to hold. And then the Christmas tree one, I just take some gold reflective glass and sprinkle that over it. And again, that's from Amazon, 1/4-inch fire glass. And for this one, I also have a snowflake brooch that I have to take the backing off of, which was pretty easy. I think it's a brooch. It might be a hair clip. I'm not sure. But anyway, I've got my little jewelry tool. Take that off, and that I put up in the top corner. I think those are so cute. Just drizzle a little bit of resin over it. And then this next one was a clear snowman that I had actually put some Let's Resin chameleon flakes. And I don't know why that one is moving when all the other ones aren't slipping, because I thought this was all level, this table. I got new tables. And then again, I'm putting the Ashland Decorative Filler from Michael's glass on there. And this is again the seasonal glass. It's kind of a iridescent white, and again, you're best off putting it on top of the resin and not drizzling any resin over it, or it becomes too translucent. And then the fourth one, I have the green Christmas tree, and I'm putting some of the iridescent Michael's glass at the very bottom, and then at the top I'm putting some little bells on it also. And then at the top, I'm putting the fire glass, 1/4-inch fire glass from Amazon. And then I put a little candy cane brooch by the Christmas tree and a little snowflake, I guess hairpin, by the snowman. And then after I finished them all, I decided I liked the way the one looked so much, the one with the mirror on it, that I decided to go ahead and use the Krylon Looking Glass spray paint to create mirrors on all of them. And I did end up giving them each like 3 coats and let them dry for about 20 minutes between each coat. So for the other set of projects, the day before, I had mixed up some resin and put some eye candy snowflake mica powder in it, and then poured it into these 5 coaster molds. I was hoping to make 6, but I only had enough for 5, so that's how many projects I ended up doing with those. And then I came back and used my hole molds that I had made up in my prior video. If you want to check that out, I did that a couple days ago. And I mixed up a little bit of clear resin and poured a small amount on top of each of them. And then I worked with one at a time. I put the little blue snowman on there and put some iridescent Michael's glass around the edge. And then I had some little decorations. I had beads and just a whole bunch of beads and some custom jewelry that I put in the very front of it. And jewelry is one of the things that I look for at garage sales and thrift stores. You can find some really good deals, and some of it is broken jewelry, but you can still take it apart and use it for different things. And because it had a good base of resin at the bottom, I only had to drizzle a small amount on the top. And then again, I just work around this. I'm also using the Michaels. This is the mirrored glass from Michaels, and I use a bunch of beads and again jewelry. Just put it around the perimeter. I promise you I'll show you everything up close in a couple minutes, and at the very end I'll show you some real close-ups and take some good pictures. And then I have this little star that says joy, or it's actually a snowflake, and I stick it standing up next to the snowman and drizzle just a tiny bit of resin over it. Like I said, it already has a good base of resin under it. And the next one, the same thing. I put the snowman in the middle into the resin and sprinkle some iridescent glass around the outside. I have some gold bells and beads that I put around this one. And I believe I also have the gold snowflake hairpin, I guess it was, and I just take the backing off of that and stick that standing up next to the snowman. And again, drizzle just a tiny bit of resin over the beads and bells that I've added. The next one is the green Christmas tree, and this is a 1/4-inch fire glass from Amazon, and I have a little Merry Christmas brooch that I had gotten probably on Temu. Took the backing off and just stuck that up front. And then the very last one is another Christmas tree, and again the 1/4-inch fire glass around the perimeter of that. And I'll show you them better up close when I demold them all and after they've set. So next I'm doing the night lights with the half molds, and these are the ones we've been getting on Amazon. And what I really like about these is that they are LED, so they don't get hot, and they're light sensitive, so they come on when it's dark, so they are not on constantly. So for these I'm going to be using the two little blue snowman, and both of them have the Let's Resin chameleon flakes in them, and I'm going to do different glass on each one so you can see what the different glass looks like. So for this I'm using Let's Resin UV resin. It's the high viscosity. It's best to use the high viscosity because it doesn't run as much. I mean, you can use the other, but I like this better. You don't have to tape anything off because being the high viscosity, like I said, it doesn't run as much. And I just put it on the plastic part of the nightlight, and then I use my little spreader tool to spread it around. The best way to prevent bubbles is by storing it upside down in a cup. You can get rid of bubbles by using like a little kitchen lighter to just hit the bubbles, but honestly the glass kind of covers up any bubbles, so on this project you really don't have to worry about it. So I just set the snowman in the UV resin and take some of the Michaels crushed mirrored glass and sprinkle it on, and honestly the more glass the prettier it looks, at least I think. And then I just do the same thing with the other nightlight, but this time I use the Michaels iridescent glass, and like I said, the more glass I think the prettier it is. And then I just put the UV light on it, and the good thing about this is it has a little tray that slides in and out, and when you put the top light on and attach it to the bottom, the light hits it from the bottom also, and it's in your best interest to put the UV light from both directions. And then didn't those turn out pretty? So they both have different, they're both the same molds, but they have different glass on it. The one on the left has the gold or the silver reflective crushed glass, and the other has the iridescent white glass. And then for the next two, I'm going through this real fast so that I don't bore you, but the next two I did the exact same way. I put the green Christmas tree on. This I used the Michaels, it's called gold crushed glass, but it's much chunkier. It's smaller than the 1/4-inch fire glass, but larger then they're crushed glass. And then on the white Christmas tree, I put the silver reflective crushed glass. And I thought these turned out real pretty too. I think the more the glass, the prettier they are. What do you guys think? And again, I'll show you better close-ups in a minute. And then these last two that I did were the white ones, and then I put the silver reflective Michael's glass around the outside. These are super pretty too. And here they all are. I'm not sure about the iridescent one at the end. It might be too see-through. What do you guys think? Although that might be good for a nightlight, but I'll show it to you with the light on in a second. Absolutely love all the nightlights. This is what they look like with the light on and off, and I think they all turned out super pretty. And the next two are going to be the blue ones, and one of the blue ones I put the Ashland Decorative Filler Gold Reflective Crushed Glass on, which I really like. And the other one, I put the Ashland Decorative Filler, the white iridescent glass, which I don't like as much. I just wanted to show you both ways what it would look like. So that's with the white iridescent glass. It really looks prettier in person. And then that's the white snowman. I thought maybe that would occlude some of the light, but really a lot of light shines around it and even through the bottom of it, I think. And then, of course, the green Christmas tree, and that's the gold reflective glass. It's a little chunkier from Michael's that I put there. And I guess my favorite is the Ashland Decorative Filler, the small crushed reflective glass. I think that one's super pretty too. That has the chameleon flakes in it. You can see it real good when the light's on, and also when the light's off you can see it. And then the white Christmas tree is pretty also. I don't know, I think they all turned out pretty. I think they're really cute Christmas night lights. And then, as if I didn't make enough with these molds, I decided I wanted to try one more thing. I wanted to make some Christmas ornaments. So I took these little window hole makers. This is from Fran. She has a YouTube channel called Little Windows, and she makes all sorts of amazing things, jewelry, and I think more smaller things that you might be using these hole makers in, but I think they're perfect for ornaments. And you just take them, and they have a little suction cup on them, and you stick them where you want them. So we want the hole at the top of the ornament, so that's what we're doing. And if for any reason you have a problem with it not sticking, all you have to do is wet the bottom of it, and it will stick perfectly fine. And if for some reason you're in the middle of your resin project and you forgot to put them in, you can just stick them in right through the resin and it will stick to the bottom. So I mixed up my resin, squirted the bottom of them with isopropyl alcohol, and in 4 of them I poured clear resin. I had a total of 7 ounces, and I probably used maybe 5 ounces for the 6, so a little less than an ounce per circle. And I split what I had left of the resin after those 4 in half, and I put Let's Resin chameleon flakes into some of the resin, mixed it up, and poured that into the remaining 2. I really like the Let's Resin chameleon flakes. They come in all sorts of colors and have different effects depending on what resin you're using it in or what you're backing it with. They look totally different, and I thought they would look real pretty with these ornaments, so I poured that in the last 2. And this is the new heat table that I got under recommendation from Yvonne from our Facebook group, and it is wonderful. It is huge, and it really is nice. And anyway, I just set it for 30 minutes. I just wanted the resin to kind of gel up a little bit before I put the ornaments on top of it. And for one of the clear ornaments, I decided I wanted to use some UV resin and some Let's Resin chameleon flakes, and just mixed it up and painted the back of it because it was so clear. I just wanted to see what that would look like from the back. And I didn't think I put enough on, so I sprinkled some more on top of the wet resin before I put it under the UV light. And after about 30 minutes was up and I thought it had gelled up a little bit, I started placing the ornaments into the little round molds. The 2 that I put in, the molds that had the Let's Resin chameleon flakes in, I just left like that. The snowman I just put in, I put some of the chunky glitter from Michael's Gold. And then this other one that I'm messing with now, I put some white chunky glitter, and I meant to do the silver. I don't know why I grabbed the white. I do not like the way the white looks at all. And then this guy I had to finish painting. He had the blue one with the silver on it. And I put glass around. I wanted to see what it would look like if I put some of that Michael's reflective crushed glass, and that I didn't like either. And then this last one, I put some more of the gold chunky glitter from Michael's around it. And then I set the temperature to the highest setting and put it on for an hour and a half and covered it with the dust cover, or it actually holds the heat in to this new table I have. And by the way, this table is also a leveling table. So 2 hours later, I came back and demolded them. Show you them quick now, but I'm going to show you everything at the end in 1 minute. So these are the ones with the Let's Resin Chameleon Flakes, and I really like these. These turned out pretty. I think I might have got some other chunky glitter at the top too, but I thought that was pretty, real pretty. I wished I had made the green tree a little bit darker though. This next one, the white one, has the chameleon flakes too, and you see how easy those little silicone hole makers are to come out. You just pull it out and it comes right out. And this one, I put the white glitter around. I don't like it at all. I don't know why I did that. I have some real pretty chunky silver glitter, and that's the one that I put the chameleon flakes on the back. It's okay, but I won't do that again. That one I put the glass around, and I don't like it. Maybe if I had put more on and made it evener, it would have looked better. Those I don't really like that much. And then these last two have the gold chunky glitter around them, and I think these turned out real pretty, especially that one with just a little bit of scattered chunky gold glitter. I think that's pretty. It might even look better with a lot. The reason I didn't put the glitter on to begin with was I didn't want it behind the clear ornament. I thought it would look funny. And that one's pretty too. I like that. Hey everyone, so this is the only way I could get them all in the display on the camera at once, so I'm going to pull them in close for you. This was like a marathon of snowmen and Christmas tree, and honestly, I love them all. And I wasn't going to do these ornaments, and then at the last minute I thought of them. I thought, oh, these would look good. You could just use the coaster mold and the holes for them at the top from little windows. And I love the ones with, this is the chameleon flakes that I put on there. And I just think those turned out so pretty. I think they look so cute, and they got the little hole up at the top. And these are probably of all of them, I guess I really like the nightlights. And I showed you up close what they looked like with the lights on and the lights off. And I thought that the white ones, you know, would occlude the light too much, but really they turned out so cute. I just love these nightlights. And then my glass on glass. So you saw how this was the one that was on the regular mirror, and I think these are so cute like that with the half molds. And then I started looking at them, and I thought, oh, wouldn't that be nice if we could just put a mirror behind all of them? And I think it worked out pretty well. Oh, my Christmas tree's a little off center. I have a problem centering stuff. So, but I thought those turned out cute too. And like I said, in the very end, I'll show everything up real close. But I don't know. I just thought they looked really pretty. I like this glass though better on it. Then I don't know if it's just because that's so translucent. I don't like the kind of whitish iridescent glass as much, and that's from Michael's also. So now, of course, you could crush your own glass and put it on there. I'm not going to get that to stand up again. But anyway, and then these little display stands here. This is the one mold that I keep by on my resin table all the time, and if I have extra resin, I'll pour it into this part. And then I'll have little stands all made up already for little artwork. And they just connect together like that, and they stand up real nice. These, well, this one isn't too thick, but these ones are a little bit too thick to hold them, even though that one's standing in it. But some of them are just, some frames are just too thick for it. That's a fairly thick frame. But anyway, putting the mirror on the back of it was real easy, and I'm going to try to do that with some larger picture frames, because I love glass art on mirrors. So I think that's a really cool idea. But anyway, and these, I don't know, I think the nightlights are my favorite, but these are so cute too. Every one of these. And look at that. Isn't that adorable? Just sitting on, all this is the coaster mold. And then I just put little bells and beads. I mean, simple stuff that you can find anywhere. And probably you have in your stash anyway. I just think these are adorable. And I'm going to bring you in close and whoops. I'm going to bring you in close at 1 second to show you everything. But anyway, I just had so much fun making them, and I bet you guys could think of other things to put them on. And I even thought of putting a snowman and a Christmas tree together on a larger framed glass piece. I thought that might look really cute too. But anyway, and the other thing I'm thinking is, for those of you who don't want to get this mold or don't have this mold, I was going to try to see if there was something else on Amazon that we could use that's small like this. The only thing is you wouldn't get those real pretty crystal effects from the glass art, and I really like that. That's the one thing I do like about these molds, is it has a special diamond or crystal effect. I don't know what they call it. But anyway, I'll keep you posted. So I hope you guys enjoyed the project. I sure had fun making them. I went a little crazy with it. But anyway, if you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel. If you enjoy the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you've never been on the channel before, I have over 350 glass and resin art videos. I'm sure you'll find something you'll like. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell, and then you'll be notified every time I put a new video out. We have the Facebook page going, an amazing group of people over there displaying some beautiful artwork, and so helpful and so friendly, especially if you're a beginner and need some advice and whatnot. We're all there to help you. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries, let's flow for now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And then we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it. let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're.